Hi, Missy. Welcome to Soul Sessions.
Thank you. Hi, Amanda. It's nice to meet you.
I'm so happy to meet you and thank you for coming on and being open to a reading. You have some really great questions. Will you tell everybody what you're interested in and what you're curious about right now?
I am really curious. I know the first question I had was in relation to the podcast that you did at the end of the year. So it might have been the last one. It was the December 25th podcast about developing discernment and navigating uncertainty in a changing world. And so that one really kicked off some just interesting topics for me because there was a lot of uneasiness at the end of last year, and I've probably re-listened to that podcast, like, 4 or 5 times now just to get another base of comfort, as certain, time periods we've moved through April already this year. So I would my main question, that's what I was curious about, was just if you had any update we're through Q1 of this year, heading into summer, if you had any updates to that podcast.
Absolutely. Okay. First of all, the first thing that's coming through, especially as you relate to discernment, one of the things that they say is you are here to navigate change and do it with flexibility and without fear. That is probably the biggest hurdle that you have been jumping on a soul level and on a practical and personal level is like that mantra of life is full of changes and I'm open to change. Change is a natural part of my life. And it's like almost like you see how like as I'm saying it, I'm like expressing myself.
Yeah.
Change is a natural part of my life. And guess what? Change is hard. Change scares us to death. But they are saying you are here to learn to be flexible through change and trust like the solid ground that you're standing on. And by doing that, you inspire and encourage other people because you are that person in your family and how people you're the one that even when you don't feel certain and you're afraid, you show up for others and you sometimes for you, and they keep saying this is a big thing, you feel like you give so much more than you receive, and they're saying you actually do. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, that actually coincides with the exact second question. I know I had a two-parter to that was, I'm gonna be starting a new role, a new job on, Monday. So in that, I had jotted down some notes to kinda talk through it. It's just what I had wrote down was just the pressure that I feel to succeed because the majority of my family's financial stability, it depends on me, and
Yeah.
it weighs on, it's heavy on your shoulders, but failing isn't an option. I have to show up, and I have to be there for them, and I have to support them, so I just always have to figure out a way, and it's always just been rolling through with the changes as they come up, but also, it's scary too,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
that failure is real, the fear of it. So how to navigate that is what I've been working through
Yeah.
recently.
And they one of the things they keep showing me is like, they're saying it's okay for you to get really angry. They're saying for as kind and loving and compassion as you are, and you do it with a sense of maturity and responsibility. Since you were a little girl, you showed up responsible. You have taken care of emotionally all of the people around you before you were taking care of people fiscally and literally. You were the emotional stabilizer in your family. And it's funny because you're a really deep feeler. And right now, your emotions are all over the place. And so it feels a bit out of control. And like the veneer that you normally have where you're like, I'm buttoned up, I'm pulled together. Okay, one thing after another. Everybody get dressed, everybody get their stuff done. Okay, I've got work. We've got this. Like all of a sudden it's like I can't even juggle all these balls. I don't want to juggle all these balls. I don't want to have it together. Does that I mean like it can feel like
Yes.
you're cracking and they're actually saying you're cracking wide open because all of those behaviors since childhood that were because of your circumstances and your family that were you buttoned up and were strong, you're now starting to feel more emotionally unstable and vulnerable. And yet it's a beautiful thing, even though it's unnerving. And I know it's crazy making at times. Been there, feel it, get it. So they're saying, trust where you are. And you know how you're like, I have to show up. I have to show up for my family. Start saying, I get to show up, but don't say that as in fake it till you make it, because 'cause they're saying you need to be angry, not at your family, not at your lot in life, but there's old impatience, old frustration, old anger of all the responsibility and the weight that's been on your shoulders, not just now, but since you were younger. Does that resonate?
Yes, the responsibility piece. I guess I just wonder, how is it okay to be angry?
To be okay, that's a really good question, and you're talking to somebody who knows how it's not okay to be angry because 'cause I've blown and I have shown my colors, and had to make amends for that and all the things. But anger is a natural emotion, and it doesn't mean we're angry at someone and projecting it or reverberating it back to ourselves. But, like, the telltale signs of anger are a lot of, like, impatience, irritability, frustration. I know that can be hormones and all the things, right? Okay, there's
Mhm.
that
Yep.
scientific stuff that we all got going on. But literally, when you start getting irritable and antsy and there's anxiety and stuff, be like, "Wait a minute, something deeper is going on." So it's almost like being in your car and just going,
Yeah. Like, why does everybody have to name that?
they don't it's not about you not loving your family or being a good mom or doing like, because you are those things, but you are allotted that emotion and not at yourself or at other people just to have the emotion because it's like very I'm gonna call it Plutonian, like the planet Pluto, death and
Mhm.
rebirth and transformation. A big part of alchemy and transformation is flushing the dark out so the light can shine brighter. So it's not at someone or at yourself. It's feeling that emotion just to know it's part of the human experience. So it's not about blame or somebody's going to think badly if I'm an angry person. I'm not talking about you being this crazy road rage lady. I mean, although we can all get that a little bit, it's like sometimes people just drive like nut jobs. But, and sometimes people are just not very nice. So, those things happen, but they're saying give yourself I also want you to get an emotional wheel, like Google it, okay, after we get
Okay.
off the phone, and you know how there's like, I don't know, like 150 emotions. It's bizarre how nuanced they are. And I want you to print it out and either stick it on your desk or whatever. And when you're feeling something and you're like, what is it that I'm feeling? Look at your emotional and be like, oh, that's irritability. Or, I'm disgruntled. Like start to name the emotion and then inhale and exhale it for about 21 seconds. Sit with the shadow or uncomfortable emotion because that is stuff detoxing from your cells, your DNA, your body chemically, and also you being honest. That's about honesty, not about, oh, I got to be better. I got to be strong because you're a perfectionist, just like me. And I am like, I can see it. It's all over your energy field. And it's like, if I don't get everything done, like you said, failure is not an option. But guess how we learn? We learn by scraping our knees. I learn best. I don't like it. Okay. I don't like what I'm saying right now, but it is absolutely the truth. When I mess up, I learn better how not to do something or what I don't want. And that's the other thing you're fine tuning. So I want to say this specifically to your question about that podcast and what's going on for you, and I know this resonates with other people, your value system is shifting. And beliefs are one thing, and that's like a whole adventure. Okay, what do I believe? I believe in love, and this is what love looks like for me. I believe in prosperity or safety, family, whatever those beliefs are. But what do you value? And you're in a stage of your evolution and your growth where your values are changing, and values are like concrete and steel, and they're usually hardwired from childhood circumstances, and we value things because we were told to or it was modeled to us or the circumstances we were in and how we survived and coped or whatever it
Mhm.
may have been. And then as we get to a certain stage, it's like, I'm behaving this way. I don't know if I believe it. And I actually don't know if I like that. And so, in order to find out what you value, and I've done this and I continue to do it, it's easier for me to figure out what I absolutely do not like in order to tell me what I do like. So I want you to go on this quest of
Okay.
stuff you don't like. And I'm
Okay.
not I'm not talking about you being judgy and ugly, but it's like, "Oh, I don't like Rocky Road ice cream." Like, just start at the ice cream aisle at the grocery store and be like, "Ugh, I do not like chocolate. I love plain old fashioned vanilla." Like start with just really simple stuff or, ew, I really do not like pizza with spinach on it. I like the Supreme from Pizza Hut. Like just get the simple stuff. And that's not about your values, but that's helping you to start practicing. Wait a minute. What do I love? What don't I love? What do I like? What don't I like? And that'll help you drill down to what you value. And that will be really, really beneficial. And another thing they're telling me, and this is really, really important, you're very deep and quirky and analytical. I mean, like when you're learning something behind the scenes, like you love to dive in and figure it out, but you don't share it with a lot of people because you're like, nobody's going to get me. They're going to think I'm weird. And, I'm
Yeah.
figuring this stuff out. And I love it because I totally resonate with that. And I know a lot of people do too. But they're showing me you are intended to be this incredible leader in life in a multitude of ways. And when you figure something out or when your light bulb turns on, they want you to be seen and they want you to like shine your light out into the world because when you're enthusiastic about something that you love and you enjoy, you're infectious and you haven't been infectious lately. And when I say that, I don't mean like infectious
No.
disease. I
Yeah.
just mean you've been like, okay, I've got work, I've got life, I've got stuff, I have all the things on my plate. I mean, you're tired. I can feel it in your energy field. And I'm so excited for you for your new job. That is amazing. You're going to do great. And I know you're like, I'm a little bit afraid. Like, I'm feeling the self doubt. I get it. I'm raising my hand for that, but they are saying the universe would not be gifting you this if you weren't capable of it and didn't deserve it. But also, they're saying as you step into this new job, and what I love is your new job is on Monday, 8th and 21st, and the sun will have moved into Taurus, and Taurus is about sustainability, right? It's like it is like building something to last. So I love the alignment of that for you and this new job. But what I love most is they're saying they want you to step into this role in like they want you to be a little different, meaning you are who you are with your talents and abilities, but they want you to feel confident in your leadership and not like you're an imposter because you're still like, am I really qualified for this? Do I know how to do it? Are they just giving this to me because, I've been doing this for so long and they're saying, quit saying that stuff. And no, like they kind of want you to go in. This is going to sound really funny, but I'm going to say what your soul's saying. They say they want you to go in a little cocky because that is not you. Like you're not cocky, you're not showy, and they don't mean be somebody you're not and be ostentatious. They're saying they want you to go in shoulders back like a lion, they want you to feel regal, like a lion, like, yes, I'm so happy to be here. It's nice to meet you. Wow. Tell me like and you learn through other people like I do. It's
Yes.
one of the things I love the fact that other people are teaching me and you and I share that is we want other people to shine. You genuinely, both of us do.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm gonna say this because it's been on my heart, and I know this is gonna resonate with you. I'm really sick of insecurity and competition. Like, I'm really sick of it, and like we all have insecurities. I certainly do. I know you're sharing them, so like you do too. We're human, but when I am with someone and I can feel their insecurity and then it projects onto me energetically, I can be really compassionate about it, but I'm like, "Dude, let's be more secure. Let's like team up together." So when you go into this role, you be like, "Okay, tell me more. I want to learn." So you're supporting people in their talents and you get to support them because you are a leader. You have beautiful leadership skills and you're creative as all get out. Is this making sense?
It is. Yes. Thank you. And I go into those situations. I ask a lot of questions naturally. I'm just inquisitive and curious. But when you said, liking to see them shine, I love it when I can be of service and see the light bulb go on for somebody, in a situation where they don't understand, or I can kind of help get them to that point. That's one of my favorite things to get to
Yeah,
do. So,
me as well. And the example they're giving me is when I was in healthcare and I was in a role where I was overseeing physicians and nurses. and I have a master of public health, but I'm not a clinician. So typically doctors and nurses don't like to report to somebody who is not a clinician. Like that infrastructure and hierarchy, they don't like that, right?
Yeah.
And so when I went in and I said, "Look, y'all, I don't know what I don't know. I'm not the nurse. I'm not the doctor. Y'all need to tell me what the clinical protocol call is, what the patients need. Tell me what your grievances are. Tell me what works. Tell me what doesn't. And then I'm going to be your advocate. I'm going to be your advocate with leadership. But y'all are the experts in here. I am just your facilitator to make this stuff run smoothly. Teach me what I don't know and how I can advocate so we can work synergistically as a team." And it was like, it was one of the most joyful. I still have relationships in those positions and where there was mutual respect. And that's what I want you to remember is you truly earn respect from people by listening to them, showcasing their talents, making their life and their job easier. And by doing that, they not only feel seen, that your soul wants you to feel seen. And that is part of your journey in this lifetime is feeling seen. So when you ask about discernment, yes, your values are changing. So that's your homework, what you like and what you don't like, from ice cream to, some of your friends. No, and I don't mean you just cut them out, but just recognize qualities that you really value in yourself and in people and why, that kind of thing. Like do that little homework or big homework, so to speak. But also when you step into this job next week, and there's a learning curve the next 3 weeks, week 2 is going to be easier than week 1, and so on and so forth. But they're saying as you do this and you get to know people and the processes and what's going on, when somebody is excited because you're there and they're sharing what they do and they're enthusiastic about something, they want you to feel enthusiastic about getting to be a part of it. So cultivating enthusiasm right now is going to make you feel easier and alive again. And also, like the next 2 years, your salary is going up. Just so you know. So they just said fiscally you're gonna feel good. You're gonna be in your place and you're growing. The role you're stepping into, there's more growth ahead
Mhm.
of that. And you're gonna be really feeling that, and it's gonna affect your like positively affect your bottom line. So I'm like, rock on, sister.
Glad we got college to pay for in the fall.
Right. Well, then I know, I love how you're like, well, that's a good thing because this is what's coming down the pipes. And of course, you're a mom and with kids and those rites of passages happening, you're also going to have, like, yes, you've got those bills that you're accountable to, but you're going to have more freedom in your time. Like, yes, you got work. Yes, you're a mom, all the things. They're saying, make sure you're making time for yourself to go to dinner with your girlfriends or spend quality time that is yours because that out external community away from your work identity and your home identity, that is malnourished and that needs to be nourished. And you don't have to pile this all on next week. Just write these things down. My discernment process right now is in really recognizing what I value and how that looks in my life and how I emulate it and manifest it in my relationships and in all of those areas of life. Also cultivating enthusiasm, being seen, your leadership and teamwork. And then from then on out, what do I do in my extracurricular life that is just for me? Not work, not family. What do I love to do extracurricularly that I carve out time for that my family knows and work knows is a non-negotiable. Mine's Pilates, right? Like Pilates is like my non-negotiable and I've made time for it and time has appeared for it and I'm, like, so grateful for it.
Yeah, mine lately has been Yin Yoga. Uh,
Okay, hallelujah, sister, because there's so many yogis out there, and for those of us who have done yoga for a while and we do the hardcore Ashtanga and all the things, at some point we either enter in with yin or we cross over to yin and, like, sitting in those positions and releasing and you know how you just cry? Have you had those moments where you're sitting and you start crying?
Yes.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
it's like releasing all this stuff from your fascia tissue, and you know what? That's a really good place for your anger, and in a compassionate way where you can you know how, like, if you're doing pigeon and they make you do it for, like, 3 minutes or
Yes.
7 minutes or something ridiculous, and, you feel it in your hips and you're like trying to adjust your body and your body is angry and tight and your muscles are, okay, when you feel your muscles be like, "Ooh, y'all are angry. Ooh, you're trying to adjust." And then be like, "Okay, like let it out, let it out." Notice the tension in your body and notice that maybe that's a form of like anger, tension, strain, stress you're holding and say, "Oh, I'm joyfully releasing this tension, anger, frustration, strain." And I'm so glad you said that and that you love Yin Yoga. Yin
Mhm.
Yoga is saves my life when I get to do it. So,
It's
yeah.
my Sunday night ritual to get me through the next week.
Do you actually go somewhere or you do it virtually?
No, I go to a studio on usually every Sunday night if I can make it, I'm there for an hour just so I can be in the right headspace for Monday morning.
I love that for you, and I hope everybody listening will take a page from Missy's playbook and that this is what she gifts herself on Sunday evenings to wind down and prepare for the week ahead, which is gentle and quiet. And she actually removes herself from her home. She's not doing it virtually. She's going to a studio and doing it in community, which I know feels nurturing. I love that you do that, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
So,
thank
was this helpful? Yeah?
it was yes, it was so helpful. I have lots of homework to do and sit with, but I I'm excited because it's gonna generate growth, so that's what I'm
Yeah, it
excited.
absolutely will, and, it's funny when I talk about values, like, that was a really difficult one for me to start. Beliefs were one thing, but values were so much deeper, and some of them have taken me, like, years to really fundamentally identify with, and one of them for me is safety. I really value safety, and I'm not talking about locking my doors and vigilance in my home or environment. That's not the form of safety. If I feel safe with someone emotionally, or I feel safe in my in whether it's an environment or emotionally, and noticing when I feel uneasy or unsafe and being able to recognize that and either say no to something or remove myself and not judge myself, because you're talking to the Libra over here who will just say, okay, I don't really like or love this, or I don't feel really safe in this group of people, but I'm going to go because I should go. I like that's actually that discernment has shifted so drastically. I don't compromise as much anymore, and it usually has to do with a core value of safety, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical safety, and that it's a keystone value of mine. And now that I know, I can practice it, and give it to people, hold that safe space, but also honor it for myself. So, like just go on a quest, a value quest for
Of
yourself.
likes and don't likes. Got
Yeah,
it.
and to start with the ice cream. I'm always like,
Yes.
start with the ice cream aisle because that's like, like start with food. It's like start with food or music. Oh, I don't want to listen to that channel. Like this is what I want to listen to. Really, the little stuff will help you start defining that deeper, hardwired, concrete steel stuff.
Gotcha.
Well, listen, I'm beaming you really big love and new beginnings with your job and your new role. And I know because I can see it and I trust it that this job and this change is really an opportunity for you to use your gifts and your talents, not only to feel competent and true in who you are, but to inspire and support other people through your leadership and also your sincerity. You're a very sincere, personal person, and it's all over your energy field. It translates. So,
Thank you. I'm
you're welcome.
no, I'm ready to go. I'm excited now and have, have more confidence going into Monday morning, so thank you for that.